just need a little, give a little bit of lateral thought. And then finally, the one I'm going to say here is online PR and articles. And we've, as decent-sized businesses, we've probably all done a little bit of a press release, and we've given it out there to our PR company, and they've pushed it out to the local newspapers or the big newspapers in town. And it does work, depending on how newsworthy the story was, how interesting the story was. You may well get get a response from that. The same thing is happening online. There's the same newspapers are probably online, but there's also specialist online news sites. There's blog sites. There's journalists who are online. There's lots of places looking for content, and if you can provide them with useful, interesting, funny, whatever content, then guess what? Then you're going to get your brand out there. People hopefully will read the article and go, oh, that's interesting, I must go and have a look at that website or whatever it might be. And it also has an effect from an SEO point of view as well. So I'm going to touch a little bit more on that one. So those are the main ways of that we would sort of look at most of the time in terms of getting people to come and visit your online presence. I'm going to have a look here at search engine optimization because, well, one, I've been doing it for about 7 years and I know it inside out. But two, it's a great way of getting targeted people to come and visit your website. And the reason why, and what this picture is trying to denote here, is that when somebody goes onto Google and they type in, I think the example I've got here is diamond engagement rings if you're in the jewelry business. They've already convinced themselves that they are looking, for the product/service that you provide. Whenever you do almost any other kind of marketing, you stick an advert in a magazine, you put an ad on TV, you're on radio, you put a billboard out there on the street. That's what they've coined as interrupt marketing. You're trying to interrupt people from what they're actually doing, i.e. watching Coronation Street, reading their favorite magazine, listening to their favorite music, to try and sort of tap into them and sort of say, no, stop what you're doing, listen to me, I've got this thing I want to offer you. And therefore the conversion rates on those obviously aren't very high. Whereas when somebody types something into Google that's relevant to your business, the conversion rates therefore are much higher, just because they're halfway there, maybe even more than halfway there, depending on what they actually type in. So that's why search was a great strategy, is a great strategy, and will continue to be a great strategy, just because they're highly targeted in terms of getting them to you and your business. So what I want to do here is just show you what's happening on a Google's results page, because a lot of people don't realize just how sophisticated that this has actually gotten. And so the first batch of results we've got here, let's see if my little laser pointer is working. Yes, it is. So we've got 3 sort of listings at the top, and then we've got another few listings down the right-hand side. This is Google's AdWords, pay-per-click. This is the advertising. This is how they make their millions. I think it works out at about $1 million per hour. I think somebody, the 4 billion per quarter. I think it's about $1 million per hour. Not bad. So yeah, so literally, anybody can open a Google AdWords account, get on there, create an ad, say you're prepared to pay X amount for every click, and when somebody clicks on it, that's what you pay, and hopefully you get somebody who comes to the site and they're targeted, and they'll come and avail of your service or buy your product. I could talk for hours about Google AdWords and how to make it more effective and how to make it work. And if you are interested, grab me at lunchtime or afterwards, and I'll be very happy to talk to you. But there's a whole science behind making AdWords profitable. It's very easy to do, but it's very hard to get it right and get profitable campaigns. So those are the first batch of results. The next batch then are what we call the organic listings. So we've got down here, these are organic listings. And this is what sort of traditional SEO, this is what traditional search engine optimization is all about. It's all about getting to the top when somebody types in, keywords that are relevant to your business. So in this example, I've got diamond engagement rings, and these are UK results, I think. No, they're Irish results. So we've got diamondsandgoldireland.com, appleby.ie, diamond.ie, et cetera. So, getting to the top, and whoever that is, Diamonds and Gold Ireland, they will be getting a significant amount of really targeted traffic, for the term diamond engagement rings coming to their site. And in terms of the numbers of people, who click on these things, about 25% of people, in this case, who type in diamond engagement rings, will click on the pay-per-click ads. 75% of people are looking in here. The AdWords are, people don't trust them. They're kind of perceived as the Del Boys of the online world. So a lot of people don't even look at them. So this is where the action's at, and around about 75% of people will click on the number 1, and then you can go down to about 40% are going to click on the number 2 listing, about 20% are going to click on the number 3 listing, and you literally are sort of halving the percentages every time you move on down. And that means obviously the higher up the rankings you can get your website, your web pages to appear, the more clicks you're going to get, the more targeted visitors, the more money you're going to make. Interestingly, in the middle of these organic results, we've got some pictures. And these are images for the term diamond engagement ring. And so what's happening here is the Google algorithm is very, very sophisticated, and it's going, well, okay, so they've searched for diamond engagement rings. There's some websites, obviously they're going to show the paid ads, they're going to make their money. But they think that one of the most relevant things they can do to the users is to provide some images of some diamond engagement rings. So that's what they've done. They've stuck the images in there that you can then click on, and maybe you'll go through to the website, maybe you're just interested in pictures, who knows. But Google have deemed that images were worthwhile actually showing to you. And again, they've been picked up and they're being shown on Google because they were tagged on whoever's website these are as being diamond engagement rings. So, so if you've got a website and you've got images, one of the most important things that you can do is to make sure that all your images have descriptions. It's done using a technical thing called an alt tag. Don't get too hung up about that if you don't know. Talk to your web designers, talk to your web developers, and make sure that all your images get tagged, and make sure they get tagged with keywords. 2 reasons for that is that, one, if anybody who's visually impaired comes to your site, then they need to know what that image is, and their reader software will read that description out to them. So it's good practice to do it anyway. And secondly, for search engine optimization purposes, if you can get your keywords into the description of the image, then you increase the chances of one, appearing when Google shows images, and 2, it does actually help your search engine optimization effort. I'm going to speak a little bit more about that. The next search I did, any Liverpool supporters in the room? Oh, one of our staff members at the back. Oh dear, there's always one. And the reason I did it was I just wanted to do a topical search. And so I searched for Liverpool FC on Google, and I've got a different batch of results here. And again, I just want to explain what Google can actually return in terms of results. So the first one, I did this on Sunday, and Liverpool had just been playing Bolton Wanderers in the Premier League, and they just won. So Google decided that because what I'd searched for was very relevant, very topical, say the algorithm knows that Liverpool Football Club is a football club. They play in the Premier League. They know that PremierLeague.com is sort of kind of the official body for the Premier League, and therefore it showed that result. It's very, very sophisticated in terms of what Google knows about on the web. So that was the first thing it showed, because it deemed that was the most relevant thing for me looking for Liverpool Football Club. The next batch of results then are news results. So these come from, I don't know if you can see this or not, but here we've got BBC Sports site, Today Online, Business Daily Africa, whatever that is. But again, there's something relevant, in the news that Google went, well, and actually it's all about the takeover of Liverpool Football Club. They got into some financial difficulties apparently, and there was all sorts of buying and selling going on. So Google decided that what I typed in was so newsworthy that it was going to show news results before it's going to show the rest of the results. And as businesses, if you can get press releases out there to these online news sites, then that's how you're going to appear within these news results. So and again, the reason they show is because when I typed in Liverpool, whatever keyword, that keyword is in the text, it's in the heading of the press release that these news sites have picked up. So the next batch of results are the organic results. These are the main results. We've got the official Liverpool site and a couple of other sites. Sorry, that's a sub-page, and then we've got a Wikipedia entry about Liverpool. So those are kind of the normal organic results. And then we've got something very interesting at the bottom here. You maybe can't quite see, but this is a box with Twitter feed coming live into the Google search results. So the Google robots are now spidering, trolling through Twitter constantly. And you probably can't see that, but what it actually says was, they're talking about, obviously, Liverpool winning. It's from Twitter 1 minute ago. The next one says from Twitter 2 minutes ago. So literally, these things are being pulled live, almost live, from Twitter onto the Google results pages. And the reason why they're showing is because, again, the keyword that I typed in, Google deemed was so relevant, so topical, that it feels the best results it can show to me, the searcher, was some entries from Twitter. And again, guess what? If you're not active on Twitter, then you ain't ever going to appear in this search results, the search results page. So there's an awful lot happening on Google Search now that you as businesses and marketing people or whoever you are, need to be aware of, because if you're not, you really are missing out on potentially really highly targeted traffic. Up until sometime on Saturday, I find it on Saturday evening. I'm sad. I'm on the internet all the time. And yes, on Saturday evening, the whole set of Google search results actually changed for what we call Google local searches. So this is an old search I did. Luckily, I had it captured. I'd previously done for Belfast Jewelers. And what I've got here is the Google Maps. And then we've got some businesses who are on this Google map. And then I've got the organic search results. And then I've got my paid ads over the right-hand side. Sometime on Saturday, that changed to that. And it's huge, absolutely huge. If you've got a business that was relying on traffic coming from Google Maps, from Google Local, Google Places, they're all the same product from Google, then you really do need to be aware of what's happened here at the weekend. And you guys are the first to hear all about it. So what's happened is that the map has now shifted over to the right-hand side. The ads are still down the right, but they're below the map. And they've actually incorporated the local listings, the local search results with the organic results. So instead of getting this separate thing, we're now getting everything together. And just to take you back to that previous slide, here's a business here. Well, here's first of all, Ernest Jones was number 1. Fred Malcolm was number 2. Fred Malcolm is nowhere on that page. And as a jewelry business coming up to Christmas, this would have been their busiest time. And they are now gone from the Google search results whenever anybody types in Belfast Jewelers. And I know for a fact, because the number 1 site is my jewelry site. I know the numbers of people who search for that term and related terms. So they've gone out of there. So all that targeted traffic, and it made a massive impact to their business. So you really do need to be aware of what's actually happening here. And really, just to not get too technical about it, but just to sum it up, is that the organic and sort of map results being incorporated here, it's really about how well optimized organically your site is. Yes, you need to have a Google, Places listing, but that's an organic result. In fact, I think I just highlighted here. Yeah, so you can see there's nothing beside that. That's just a normal, website listing. That's an organic result. And then the next ones are Google Places, Google Local results. And you can see, it says place page. We've got the place marker below it. And just to sort of zoom that out a little bit and just show you what it's actually pulling in. So they've got the top bit, the title here is coming from the website title. It's not coming from Google Places. It's coming from the website. The description in here is coming from the meta description of the site, and that's a slightly technical term. Every page on the internet has this sort of hidden description, which the search engines can see, but users can't. But if it's done right, then that's what Google will pull forward into here. We've got the location data here, which is coming from Google Places. We've got reviews, which are the review count from Google Places. Obviously, we've got the link to the place page. We've got the place marker. We've got a picture, which is also coming from Google Places. And we've got the top review sources, which, we've got 1 review, and it came from local data search. So there's an awful lot happening there that if you could, or maybe you do get website traffic from Google local listings, you need to be obviously maximizing those, getting pictures on, because a listing that's got a picture is more likely to get a click than a picture. It hasn't got a listing that hasn't got a picture, assuming the picture is half decent. But what actually happened and why Google changed this is because Google Local, Google Places became very spammy. So people were starting to abuse it. They were starting to create reviews that weren't real reviews. They were starting to get links from sort of local directories and things, which any Tom, Dick, or Harry could get. They were paying for these sort of things. So Google basically made a decision that it was getting too abused, and Google does this on a very regular basis. If something gets abused, they literally they'll change their algorithm, they'll change their how they list results, etc., to make sure that it's not being abused, and that's what's happened. So good organic search will help drive your listings for Google local searches as well.